Hello, this is me, Dhamit Muntashim Nafi. I'm going to describe a journal which is all about a mobile operating system. This journal is done by J. Kiran Kumar, who is an assistant professor, and Dr. Yogandhar, who is a student. This journal is all about presenting a detailed review on current mobile operating systems like iOS from Apple, Android from Google, Windows 10 Mobile from Microsoft company, and so on. Now we're going to describe about the interaction, which is all about what is operating system, and mobile operating system differs from computer operating system. A mobile operating system, also called a mobile OS, is an operating system that is specifically designed to run on mobile, such as mobile phone, smartphone, tablet computer, and other handheld devices. Much like the Linux and Windows operating system control our desktop and laptop, a mobile operating system is a software platform on top of which other programs can run on mobile devices. This operating system is responsible for determining the function and features available on our devices. Now we are going to talk about how the main aspects of the operating system. Now we have about the OS, how many OS we have, features like iOS, Android, Windows 10 Mobile, Tizen, Sailfish OS, and Ubuntu Touch. And about the market share, conversion release, OS family, programming. Now we are going to describe about iOS. iOS is like Apple iPhone OS, was originally developed for use the iPhone device. Now the mobile operating system is referred to as iOS and is supported on a number of Apple devices including the iPhone, iPad, and iTouch. This iOS mobile operating system is available only on Apple owned manufactured devices. As the company does not license the OS on third-party hardware, Apple iOS is derived from Apple Mac OS X operating system. This is all about the current version of the iOS. Now we are going to talk about Android OS. Android OS mobile operating system is Google open and free software stack that includes an operating system, middleware, and also key application for use on the mobile devices, including smartphone. Update for the open source Android mobile operating system have been developed under Desert Inspired, Cupcake, Eclair, Honeycomb, etc. etc. Each new version available in alphabetic order with new enhancement and improvement. Now we're going to talk about Windows 10 Mobile. Windows 10 Mobile is a personal computer operating system developed by release by Microsoft as a part of Windows NT family of operating system. It was released on July 29, 2015. It was designed to run across multiple Microsoft products such as PCs and tablet. Windows 10s are introduced the Universal app expanding the Metro style apps. These apps can be designed to run across multiple Microsoft product families with nearly identified codes. Now we are going to talk about Tizen. Tizen, mainly based on Linux kernel, is a mobile operating system hosted by Linux Foundation together with support from Tizen Association guided by technical steering group composed of Intel and Samsung. Now we're going to talk about Sailfish OS. Sailfish OS is from Jolla. It's an open source with GNU General Public License for middleware stack core which come from MER. Sailfish, due to Jolla's business model, due to alliance with various partners, and due to intention design of OS internal, is capable to adopt its several layer and third-party software including Zola software. Now we're going to talk about Ubuntu Touch. Ubuntu Touch is from Conical Limited. It's open source and uses GPL license. Ubuntu Touch is an OS is built using the Android Linux kernel using Android drivers and several via on LX container. It also has the desktop environment of Ubuntu Touch is planned to be available one of the default desktop option on the Librem 5 running Pure OS as the operating system. Now we are going to discover the market share. 99% of new smartphones run Android or iOS. The statistics show the global market share held by the leading smartphone operating system in terms of the sell end user from 2009 to 2018. In the second quarter of 2018, 88% of all smartphones sold to end user were phones with the Android operating system. Since 2011, Apple iOS market share has varied between 14 and 12%, introduced by Google in 2007. And now, what about the future? Now we are going to talk about the future. Becoming universal, this means the app development and even OS development are moving to universal strategy to make it easier to build one app for multiple skill platform and devices while also opening up the OS itself. And about the conclusion, all these mobile operating systems provides a foundation to build application to run on it, perform daily tasks such as email, phone, games, access information on the internet, and of course, take pictures and videos. For this reason, we need to be more careful purchasing the phone. So that's all, and here is the references that it was taken from for this journal, and other description is also come from Wikipedia, and these are the citations. Thank you, that's all. And the next question is talked by my friend.
My name is Abel Tarek. I'm going to discuss about the evolution of Windows operating system. From the past till now, we know that there's a lot of Windows operating system were invented. Today we're going to talk about the Microsoft Windows. So we should check the history of Windows. First of all, I would like to tell that I took all the information from Giff Samuels from Windows 1 to Windows 10, the 29 years old of Windows evolution. So in Windows 1, we check it was first invented in 1985 in November, and the graphical user interface was 16-bit. Later, Windows 2 was released in December 1987 with a minimum and maximized window iconic and zooming system. Later, we come up with the Windows 3. Here we can check it was launched in 1990, and it is the first version to see more widespread success and be considered challenger to Apple's Macintosh and Commodore Amiga graphical user interfaces. Later, Windows 3.1 was released in 1992. It was a true type font making window. And next, the Windows 95, it was a revolutionary change for the Windows. It introduced a 32-bit environment with a multitasking process. Later come up with the Windows 98. It was released in June 1998. So basically it is the most common Windows on that time, on the past time. And its second edition 98 was released in 1999. Next, Windows Me, it was released in September 2000. Later Windows 2000, it was released in Windows in February 2000, and it was based on the Windows XP. Next, they come up with the Windows XP. Windows XP was released in October 2001, and it was the most popular Windows for till 2014 of its last release of his last date. It was released, and it was 30 years after its when it was going out. Still, it was the most famous Windows operating system for the whole generation who uses Microsoft software, Microsoft PC or Microsoft softwares. Next, come up with the Windows Vista. It was actually made for gaming plan, that usually the gamers, they can play their games in the Windows Vista, and it was released in January 2007. Later, one of the most common and the most surprisingly the evergreen subject is as an operating system is the Windows 7. Windows 7 was released in October 2009, and it covered up the criticism of Windows Vista. Next is the Windows 8. They come up with a new interface, they come up with a new idea there. They want to make the whole user much easier to than others, but with they have some big caches. That's why it people don't want to use that likely. But it was released in 2012. Still, it was good, and Windows 8.1 was the second update of Windows 8, and it was released in October 2013. And the latest one is Windows 10. It was announced on 30 September 2014, and still it's going on when people is using this. Next, come up with the advantages and disadvantages of operating system. According to Microsoft Windows advantages and disadvantages by Sofar Heba writing, the advantages are a software, hardware, font page extension development, but the disadvantages are the price, the security, the reliability, and the software cost. Next, come up with the architecture. It was Mr. Hamid who wrote a journal on Windows architecture, the basics. And basically, it shows the architecture with the operating system, how it is attached to the hardware. So basically, you can see that in the hardware part, it is connected to hardware abstraction layer and all the other things like microkernel and kernel mode drivers and other things. It is connected to each other like the user mode, executive mode, kernel mode. And later I show all the references with these guys and these things. Thank you for today. Thank you all.